Hi everyone. Let's see, what day is it? It's December 9. So this is our ninth story. It's the end of another week, and I am glad. God is good. And we have another Christmas story that really shares the essence of the Christmas spirit. Maybe some of you, probably many of you, are familiar with the bedtime stories. And since my kids are getting older, I have not read these in a while, and I thought, hey, there's some really good Christmas stories in there. So I thought I'd share one of those with you tonight. It's called Nellie's Wish. And this is the first picture that goes with it. School was over. Vacation time had begun. Everyone was looking forward to Christmas Day. How slowly the days seemed to pass. It seemed as if Christmas would never come. Outdoors it was too cold to play, and indoors there seemed nothing to do without forever getting in Mother's way. "Oh, what can we do?" said Nellie to her sister Elsie. "Let's write that letter to Santa Claus we were going to send him." "If you want to," said Nellie. "But do you know, I believe Santa Claus is Daddy all dressed up." "Do you?" "Yes, last Christmas I kept one eye open till someone came into my room and filled my stocking, and I'm sure it was Daddy in his dressing gown." "But let's write the letter anyway," urged little Elsie. "Oh, yes, that will be fun, won't it? What shall we ask him to send us? Let's get some paper and a pencil first so we won't forget anything." "I'll run and get some," said Nellie, and off she went, coming back in a few minutes with enough paper for a long letter. Since Elsie had just learned to write, it was agreed that she should write the letter, while now Nellie sat by to tell her how to spell the words. "Before you begin, let's try to think of what we would like most," said Nellie. So they talked the matter over very seriously and decided that they wanted a large number of things. Elsie was sure she needed a box of paints, a baby doll, a doll buggy, a ball, lots of candy, oranges and apples, and a music box. Nellie had bigger ideas. She wanted a scooter, some good books with pictures in them, a big box of chocolates, and above all things, a doll that could talk and move its eyes. "I really don't think he will be able to carry them all," said Nellie. "Oh, I do," said Elsie. "He has a big bag." "Yes, and there is no harm in putting them all down." So they did. With much care, little Elsie wrote the letter, underlining all the things that they wanted most. At last the letter was finished and ready to be placed in an envelope. Nellie read it over, all the way from "Dear Santa Claus" down to "Hoping to see you soon." Then she gave a little sigh and put it on the table. "Why, what's the matter?" asked Elsie. Nellie was silent for a moment. Then she said, "I think it's a rather selfish letter." "Why?" "Because we have asked things only for ourselves." Oh! Down into the tree she went. That little lightning bug was our new kitty, whose name is Rachel. And she dove right down into the tree. Okay, where was I? Selfish. The letter was selfish. Well, because we have asked things only for ourselves. There's not one thing for anyone else. That's right. What had we better do? Must we write it all over again? Oh, no, that would take too long. Why not add a postscript? What's that? Oh, just a few words at the bottom. All right, what shall we say? I would like to see some of the poor children at school get some nice things like those we have asked Santa Claus to send us. So would I. There's Kitty Gordon, said Nellie. She's such a nice girl, but her mother is so poor that I don't suppose that we will get any Christmas presents at all. That she will. Or nothing worth much. Won't she really? I don't suppose so. Then let's ask for something nice for her. I'm sure she'd like a pretty doll, too. Yes, said Nellie. Put that down. Then the letter will be all right, I think. So Elsie carefully added the words, "Please see that Kitty Gordon gets a beautiful doll." Then they folded the letter, put it in the envelope, stuck an old stamp on it, and handed it to Mother, asking her to see that it was mailed. Christmas morning came, and with all the glorious fun of emptying stockings and examining the presents that were piled under the tree, Nellie and Elsie were as happy as children could be. They were shrieking with delight as each package was opened and they found something for which they had asked in their letter. Of course, they did not get all their requests, but enough to make them feel sure that Santa had read their message. But there was one thing wrong, at least so far as Nellie was concerned. She did not say anything about it till she had opened all her packages. Then she began to look just a little bit worried. She turned all the tissue paper over again and again and looked under the bed, even in the closet, but in vain. The thing that she wanted most of all was not there. "What's the matter, Nellie?" asked Elsie. "Haven't you got enough things?" "Oh, Elsie," said Nellie, "I know I have some lovely things, but it isn't here." "What do you mean?" "Oh, I did so want a baby doll that says, 'Mama.'" "Maybe he took one to Kitty Gordon instead of you." "Maybe so," sighed Nellie, "but I didn't really mean for him to do that." Hardly had she said it when she realized how really mean it was. She had all these beautiful things, and she wondered whether Kitty had anything. All day, and this is the picture in the middle, all day, she was unhappy about it, and in the midst of the play with her new toys, she kept thinking, "Should I have taken Kitty some of my things?" In the evening, Nellie and Elsie went to a party that was being given by the woman next door. There were several other little girls there, and they had a fine time together. After refreshments, and what good food it was, they all went into another room where there was a beautiful Christmas tree covered with pretty, shiny decorations and little colored lights. It was a very thrilling sight. But the thing that took Nellie's attention most was the beautiful doll as it lay among all the other gifts placed beneath the tree. Her heart beat fast as she thought that perhaps now her great wish was to be granted. They played all kinds of games around the tree, and at last the presents were distributed. Only one thought was in Nellie's mind: who was going to get the doll? The cat is in the tree. She's climbing up the tree branches. Our other cat does not do that, so I have never had to deal with this before, but she is like halfway up the tree. Elijah, could you come get this cat out of the tree? Oh my goodness. Excuse the interruption. I'm afraid for all of my ornaments now. Okay, she was wondering who was going to get the doll. Impatiently, she waited and waited while every other child received a gift. Now there was just one present left beside the tree. It was the doll. "This," said the woman, "is for Nellie," said all the children, for they saw that she had nothing from the tree so far. Nellie blushed and jumped up from her seat, taking the doll from the woman. She hugged it tightly to herself. If this cat stays here, she's going to jump into the tree again. Oh, she's taking my paper and running. Then a strange thing happened. Nellie was walking back to her seat when suddenly she pointed to the window and cried, "Oh, look, look!" Everybody looked, but there was nothing to be seen. The shades were up, but outside all was dark and still. "What was it?" cried all the other children. "It was poor little Kitty Gordon. She was looking in the window, and I'm sure she was crying. Oh, I must go and find her." Without another word, Nellie rushed to the front door and ran out, not even waiting to put on her coat. Far down the street, under a light, Nellie thought that she saw a little figure. "Kitty!" she cried. "Kitty, come here!" But Kitty went on, and Nellie had to run the whole length of the block before she caught up with her little friend. "Oh, Kitty!" she panted. "I've brought you something. Please do stop and take it." Kitty stood there in the street, looking in amazement at the wonderful thing that she held in her arms. It was a doll that could shut its eyes and say, "Mama." "For me?" she said. "Yes, yes, for you," said Nellie. "I want you to have it most of all." Then she turned and ran back to the house, feeling happier than she had ever felt before. That night before she went to sleep, she remembered the note that she had added to her letter to Santa Claus and was thankful that she had helped to answer it. I just love little stories like that. I just love it because truly it is more blessed to give than to receive. I truly believe that with all of my heart. And I'm sorry for the interruptions this evening during the story, but that's the way it goes sometimes. So I hope you have a wonderful evening, and I hope you have a happy Sabbath, and I'll see you tomorrow for another Christmas story.